Hey everybody, welcome back to the Balanced Vibes podcast. I am Kirsten. Thanks so much for being here. So today we are talking about macros a little bit more, and I'm going to answer 3 questions that listeners, followers just like you have asked me. But before we get there, I want to remind you that this week is the only chance to sign up for my 1 month macro accelerator program, which starts in January. Yes, you're going to sign up this week if you want to do it, and we start in January. And this is going to be your intro to macros. If you've never tracked any macros, or maybe you did it in the past but you didn't like it, or you had a bad experience, you had your whoever said your macros made you star, then if you want to redo it this time and do it better, then sign up for it. It's perfect also for complete beginners. I'm going to take you through all the things that you need to know to set yourself up for success. So we're going to work together for 4 weeks. We have weekly calls, and between the calls, you have access to me via the Signal app, so we can stay in touch between the calls too, and you can ask all the questions that you have. So make sure that you take advantage of this amazing offer. It is $99 only, and this is the cheapest it's ever going to be. Usually the price is $249 for that. But now is the chance. If you've been wanting to do it, let me tell you, this is a total steal. And we're going to work together really, really closely. You're going to have all my support, and it's going to be amazing. So make sure that you sign up for that before it is too late. Okay. Next, let's move on to the questions. So the first question is that my coach wrote me my calories and my macros, but it seems so much. Should I really eat all the food that she's telling me? So basically, this person feels that it was too much. And I would say if the macros are calculated right for you, then this is what you should be eating, even if you don't feel that way. And I know really well how it happens. We feel like, oh, if I just eat less, then I get to my goal faster, right? This is kind of like a shortcut. I can tough it out. I can eat like 1,400 instead of recommended 1,700 or 1,800. I can totally do that. Yeah, you may be able to do that for a little while, but we got to remember that our metabolism doesn't want to be pushed super hard. And if we are not eating enough, then that means that we are pushing our metabolism hard. So when we are in caloric deficit, then that's already pushing metabolism for a little bit, but we don't want to create a huge deficit, because that's going to be even more, right? So if your coach has calculated your numbers right for you based on your weight and your height and your activity level and your goals and your age and all that, if they have calculated them right, then I would say trust your coach and trust those numbers instead of trying to kind of get there quickly, because if you lose weight quickly, that may feel like fun and awesome in the beginning, but it's not going to be sustainable. You can't do it for a long time, and the weight is going to come back, because at one point your metabolism starts screaming at you. It will be like, no, we don't want to lose any more fat. We're going to hold on to everything that you're giving us. So there you are, eating maybe 1,200 calories a day and gaining weight. So we don't want to be in this situation. So you got to eat the food that your coach is telling you to eat, and be patient with it, because no success is ever like linear. You're not going to get there by tomorrow. Just stay patient, give yourself time, step by step, every single day, and you'll get there. Okay, so don't try to kind of cut corners or get to your goal too fast. Okay, the next question is about pre-planning your meals. Okay, so let's say that it is a really, really good idea if you want to stick with it, to know absolutely for sure what you're going to have. And for beginners, it may be a good idea to decide already today what they're going to have tomorrow. So if tomorrow is easier, they don't have to put everything into their app, and they stay on track a little bit better. Like I said, for beginners, I think it's great. For those who are only just learning about macros and how to use them, where to find all the protein, because if you don't know anything about the foods that have protein, that have carbs, that have fats, and then you just put them into your app as you eat them, then you're like, what, this turned out completely wrong. I'm not nowhere close to my calorie target, or nowhere close to my protein target. Everything is off. So if you're a beginner, then I do think that pre-planning your meals is a good idea and can be very, very helpful. Now, if you are somebody who already knows what macros are, in what foods you can find certain macros, then you may not have to pre-plan all your meals. And personally, I don't like it, because I don't like to be I don't like to decide today what I'm going to eat. Okay. So maybe tomorrow, and very likely, I want to eat something different. So let's say that I portion everything out, all my lunches and dinners, and then I know already by now, and maybe it's just like some kind of rebellious nature, whatever it is, that I don't want to eat it then tomorrow. So for me, what I personally do, and I think is a really good strategy for somebody who already has some knowledge, is to have meals ready. Okay. So that you have choices. So for example, I roast a ton of vegetables. I roasted like a lot of Brussels sprouts and broccoli. And this week I did some carrots. It can be some peppers. And then I keep in my fridge like leafy greens and tomatoes and cucumbers, all that kind of stuff, so that I have stuff ready. So I do plan in this way. Also with protein, I do make my protein a lot of times in the weekend. I can cook up some chicken and then some steak. And then I always have like some cold smoked salmon in my fridge. I always have yogurt. I have cottage cheese often. So one of the things I really like is sliced turkey and light cheese. So I have all of these things in my fridge all the time so that I can put together a really healthy meal that helps me to track and hit my macros easily. But I personally don't like to weigh everything and eat the same thing the day after. So it really depends whether you are a beginner, whether you are more advanced, whether you know about macro tracking or you completely don't know anything yet. It depends on that. So there's no one way to do it. But I just say that if you really want to be super, super specific with your numbers, hit everything perfectly, and you don't mind eating the same foods over and over again, then it can be a good idea. Okay, and the last question I want to answer today is asked by a couple of people actually who have experienced hypothalamic amenorrhea, because you may know me from that. Okay, so for a very, very long time, I coached a lot of women who had hypothalamic amenorrhea, because this is what I had in the past too. In case you are unfamiliar with that, it means that you lose your period, you lose your fertility because you are either very, very overtrained or you have been under eating severely. So your body is now shutting down the normal female functions, right? And so that happens, like I said, because the body is overtrained, under eating, and that means a lot of stress. Okay. So now I've had a couple of people reach out to me and say, hey, when can I start deficit again after I have recovered from hypothalamic amenorrhea? So in other words, they want to lose fat, they want to lose body weight. When is a good time to do that? And this is super, super individual, but I can tell you when is not a good time to do it. It's not a good time to try lose your body fat, lose body weight until you've had, at least 4 or 5 months after you have gotten your periods back. And even then, super, super carefully. And, the more time you give your metabolism to kind of stabilize and normalize after you have recovered, the better it is. Because what you don't want to do is jump into deficit the next month after you got your period, because it's not going to go end well. Your body remembers. It's really fresh still, right? So you don't want to start cutting your calories and get super unreasonable with it. And, I've seen things like, yes, from 2,500, let's cut down to 1,500. What do you think's going to happen? It's obvious, right? You're going to lose your period. You're not going to get to your body goals, at least not in a healthy way. So I would say at least 4 months, in some cases 6 months. You got to feel really solid. You got to also see how you're feeling. It's not only about your period. So if you still feel like shit, if you still cannot sleep, if you still pee like 7 times a night, then things are not okay. It's not a good time for you to lose weight. If you're losing your hair continuously, if your nails are terrible, if you're cold all the time, some of these symptoms may still stay around even after you've gotten your period back. So don't rush it. The period alone is not the only indicator. So look at your overall health, right? How are things going? Am I feeling pretty good most of the time? Am I feeling, satisfied after I eat my meal? Or do I still have to I'm not hungry every hour? How are things going for you? And then if everything is well, if you keep having your periods, then, 4 to 6 months, this is the time where you may start thinking about, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it in a really, really smart way. And this is the other half of it. You cannot do a deep cut. You cannot do a 30% cut, okay? Just don't do it. I can promise you, I can guarantee you don't have to try it out. Let me just tell you, it's not going to go well, okay? Today I was just talking to somebody and she said that, I started my deficit the day after I got my first recovery period. And I'm actually curious to see how it goes, because I don't think it's going to go that well. And also when you start your cut, you start your little deficit, you got to always keep in mind, okay, I'm going to monitor myself. I'm going to see how things are going, okay? is any of the symptoms coming back? Are my cycles getting longer? Am I feeling worse again? Am I feeling more fatigued again? Am I losing strength at the gym? What's up? What's going on? So always check in with yourself, and you may actually have to do something like 2 weeks of deficit, then you come back to maintenance. 2 weeks of deficit, come back to maintenance. And that's why it's really good to work with a coach who knows what they're doing, because a coach who does not have any experience with HA, or has not or is just maybe not responsible, they can just tell you, hey, we're going to cut 25% of your calories out, and there you go, here's your plan, go with it. And you're like, okay, the rule follower as you are, you're going to be, okay, I'm going to do this, and then the symptoms come back. So I don't ever want you to experience any of that. So these are my thoughts today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if it was, by the way. I really want to know if it helped you. And don't forget the 1 month program that starts in January. It's one-on-one coaching with you. I'm going to teach you all about macros. So you can sign up today. You can sign up until Friday. If I still have some spots, we'll see. And then the program starts in January. So thanks so much for being here today. I hope this was helpful. See you next time.